It's not Joe's party. That's not. You got crazy Bernie, you have AOC plus 3. You got all these crazy people, these maniacs. You have the Green New Deal. How about the Green New Deal? He disavowed it. Then he said, no, I agree with it. I said, Joe, it's $100 trillion. That's more money than this country can make in the next 100 years if everything's perfect. It's so crazy. He wants to rebuild every building in the building. Take it down and rebuild every building. Let's say, does that include the Empire State Building? Let's take it down and rebuild it. These people are crazy. No more cows, no more airplanes, no more nothing. Biden even vowed to eliminate our tax cuts. That means he'll take away your child tax credits, because I gave you child tax credits, $1,000 a child. He wants to take away what I gave you and revoke our historic tax relief. Right to the middle class it went. Joe Biden also refused to answer questions about packing the Supreme Court. Don't you love the Supreme Court? I mean, how good is Amy? How good is Amy? How good is Amy? You know, her professor at Notre Dame, one of the most highly respected. Fill that seat. Fill that seat. You better believe it. How good is she? So her professor, one of her professors, one of the most highly respected legal scholars in the country, said, been teaching for a long time, said she is the finest singer. She was first in her class, graduated first in her class. He said, she is the finest student he's ever had. Of all the students, thousands of students, she's the single best student that he's ever had. Now he's saying, you know, she ought to run for president instead of Joe. He was like last in his class. She ought to, can you imagine? This is a big difference. I don't know. How do you like Amy for the Supreme Court, yes? If he gets elected, the hard left will appoint radical justices who will terminate the Second Amendment. No more guns. No more guns. As you all saw, Biden also refused to explain why his son Hunter was paid $3.5 billion, protected by Chris, by the wife of the former mayor of Moscow. And they talk about me with Russia. I have nothing to do with Russia. And took out $1.5 billion from China. He makes millions of dollars a year, right? Then he got the $183, right? $183,000 a month. Would anybody like that job? You don't have a job, you're not employed, you get thrown out of the military for unfortunate reasons. Your father becomes vice president, and you get hired for $183,000 a month with, I think, a $3 million upfront payment. I think they could have had him for less. Would anybody take that job? And he knows nothing about energy. What do you know about energy? Well, that's not my thing. Oh, that's okay. I mean, could you imagine if I did it? How about when Sleepy Joe said, you're not getting the $1 billion unless you get rid of the prosecutor. When you get rid of the prosecutor, we'll send you the money. They got rid of the prosecutor. He said, now the money comes. I mean, can you imagine if I said that? Unbelievable.